Today we're going to be talking about the best online reputation management companies, otherwise known as the best ORM agencies as well. Some people call it ORM, some people call it online reputation management. Now, myself and James, we have done a lot of consultancy over the years. We've also helped a lot of people remove mugshots, do crisis management. So, James, what are some strategies that you use for ORM when it comes to promo SEO, for example?
Yeah, so obviously, as the founder of Promo SEO, then I'm trying my best to make certain that any clients that we work with, that they've got good online branding. They could be entrepreneurs or business owners directly, or they could be the corporate brand. And to do that, we're using all the same kind of SEO strategies that we do to try and rank their websites. But what we're trying to do is rank all of the social profiles as well. We want to kind of control that first page with all the narrative and positive kind of sentiment all around the brand. So they sound good. They've got amazing reviews that are all ranking, testimonials, all ranking, stuff like that. So yeah, it's all heavily related to search engine optimization strategies, but it's not just about ranking the one website. We want to control, to be honest with you, we want to control them top 20 results. So Kasra, you've done quite a lot of consultancy work for a large brand that's come from nowhere, and they're one of the biggest now in the world at ORM, and that's Elite Reputation Management. So can you say, why have they actually grown so fast in the last 12 months, and why are they seen to be the best online reputation management company?
Yeah, so I think it all comes down to the strategy, and then what obviously once you fix somebody's online reputation management, they're obviously going to go and scream and shout and saying like how great you are. But obviously, like what you were saying, the strategy does differ with whether it's a personal brand, whether it's an actual company. So for example, if it's a company and it's crisis, like it's the worst terrible news that you could possibly think of, what we end up doing is we end up trying to control the narrative with like digital press releases, for example. So we might actually turn something from a negative into an actual positive. So for example, if a business has been acquired, some of their customer base might see that as being a negative, but we always try to put a twist on it. So that's some examples, but we also try to again, like what you were saying, controlling the narrative. So if somebody has potentially posted a negative review on Reddit, for example, we do try to outrank that and push Reddit onto page number 2. That seems to be like a very common issue with businesses at the minute, where somebody might complain about company X or company A on Reddit, might get a lot of upvotes, and then it'll end up starting to rank pretty high on Google. So we're always trying to control the narrative and making certain that everything on, not just on page 1, but also on page 2 of Google is all positive.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other brand, obviously, I'm quite heavily connected with is FatRank. And FatRank is another market-leading UK online reputation management company. We generally only deal at FatRank with UK clients. That's UK businesses and UK individuals and entrepreneurs. There is others, which I'm sure Kaz is going to talk about soon, that work nationwide, worldwide. So like Scott Keever being an example. But yeah, over at FatRank, we actually have got a very, very effective kind of system to delete and try to remove content. It's negative content off the internet or negative information which might be out there. We actually find that quite a lot of one-star reviews have actually been left by competitors, and we're able to kind of legally reach out or report those one stars and actually be able to get them removed, which is great. The best way of trying to do online reputation management is trying to remove and delete it. Now, it's difficult because some won't delete things, or sometimes you can report things to Google and they won't remove it. But ideally, if you can, we've also got kind of a legal setup where we kind of reach out to certain journalists and reporters. And if we feel that the information is incorrect, then we're able to get them to take that down. So FatRank's pretty good for the removal and deletion of bad kind of press and negative press. But what's your thoughts then of, like, obviously you're very close and you've done a lot of consultancy work both ways, Scott helping you, but what's your thoughts on Scott Keever over in the US?
Yeah, so I think if say for example you're looking to get a mugshot removed, or maybe your company's got some negative press, I think step number one is speaking to like an ORM consultant. So for example, you've got James Dooley, you've got myself, Kasra Dash, or you've got Scott Keever out in the States. All three of us would be able to advise you on what your next steps should be, because otherwise if you're panicking, you might end up buying into something that you might not need. We can basically do like a little bit of a quick audit and figure out, okay, this website needs X, Y, and Z services. So I think strategy number one would be speaking to either myself, either James or Scott, figuring out what the strategy should be, because that's basically the first step. Then obviously you've got the different companies. You've got, for example, FatRank, which James has been talking about. You've got Elite Reputation Management, which we've also spoken about. One company that we've not spoke about just yet, which is Searcheroo, which we will dabble into in just a couple minutes. But all of these companies provide online reputation management, but in different ways and also in different forms. But obviously, if you speak to one of us, we'll be able to guide you a little bit more. Now, what Searcheroo do, which is quite interesting, is they are particularly known for their power posts. So, for example, that what they do is they will get an article live on the web that's not owned by yourself, and they will go out and rank that specific page. So it could be for James Dooley reviews, for example, and they will make certain that they will try to rank that article number one, or as close to the number one spot as possible. And that again helps if, for example, if another company has tried to get something removed and they've not been able to. So that's basically called ORM suppression. So you're trying to suppress something onto page 2 or onto page 3 of Google.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, over at Reputation Pros, which is owned by Scott and Kiva SEO, he actually buys quite a lot of power posts from Searcheroo. So you can see there's a lot of interconnecting things going on here. If he needs certain things being deleted, he might use FatRank. He might speak to myself at Promo SEO and say, James, what would you do in this situation? Because at times it's different. There's lots of different reasons why certain people might need certain stuff being removed. It could be, like I said, it could be a news article. It could be that someone's actually killed someone in a car crash. It could be a mugshot and they want to get rid of an image. It could just be 1-star reviews and they want to get that being sunk onto page 2. So there's lots of different reasons. Over at Reputation Pros, who are based over in Florida, and Kiva SEO, they're doing a great job in the US. So if someone came to me saying, I want someone based in Florida that can do US online reputation management, I would refer it over through to Scott. If Scott needs any of my services, obviously I can help him out along the way. There's just one other name that I would like to mention as well that we've not touched on, is Sam Alcock. Who's based in Dubai. He's another great guy. So we leverage him quite a lot with regards to like Google News and magazines. He's got a lot of good connections on stuff like that. So a lot of the time it's who you know, not what you know. So being able to get yourself in certain big magazines, in certain news articles, try to suppress those images with tier 2 backlinks, using people like Searcheroo to kind of do the power posts and parasite SEO. So there's lots of different moving parts. There's so many. The easy part is SEO, is ranking a website. Imagine then trying to rank 10 different websites to try to outrank one bad article. That is hard. In fact, I would say that online reputation management is so much harder than just being a search engine optimization specialist. There's so many more things that you need to understand with ranking videos, images, Google News, and obviously web pages as well. So is there anything else that you would add on to that then? I mean, can you round up the listicle then? Who are the best online reputation management companies?
So my top names or brands that I would be in touch with would be FatRank, Elite Reputation Management, Searcheroo, Reputation Pros, Promo SEO, Kiva SEO, and then the consultants that I would be reaching out to for more of a strategy to begin with would be yourself, James Dooley, Scott Keever, myself, Kasra Dash, and then Sam Alcock.
Sounds good. So if anyone's looking for any online reputation management services, make sure to reach out. Come over to FatRank, fill in the contact form. If I can't help you, if you need a US kind of person, we'll put you on to Scott Keever. If you need Kasra Dash to help you out in any way, shape or form, or if you're specifically in Dubai and you want someone local, we can get you in touch with Sam Alcock as well.